Bagel has no pants on.
He has pants on.
Oh, he just put them on.
He just doesn't have underwear.
He just don't. What?
What? Wait, what?
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 Okay.
Okay. Hey there! Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny and hot Santa Cruz, California. Hey everyone, this is Liza, and I guess it's Indian summertime.
It is.
Mm-hmm, it's warm.
It's 107 not a couple hours ago.
Ooh, we have
Actually
our
got a
summer
little-
in the off season.
It's earthquake weather. A little scary.
And I wanted to say that for me personally, this is the first week that I'm starting to feel closer to normal with my knees.
Yeah, I was really impressed with your
Awesome.
progress until about 5 or 6 minutes ago, until you tried to get up. But you are moving around better. Well done. You could almost ride the Nikon, I think.
Maybe I could ride the Benelli. I've got my leg over that, but I'm now caught up to where I was on a bad day before the surgery.
Yeah, you look about the same as where you were before the surgery.
Cool.
Which means that it's hard, but it's getting better, and I'm feeling good about it. So that is good. Joining me here in the studio, we got Neil. Neil, what's the spiel?
Hi there.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
I asked you to come in because we're down a bunch of misfits. John,
And if that's not a
So
motivating
I'm
comment,
feeling-
I don't know what it is.
I'm just filler. That's what can I say?
No, Liza just needs people to listen to her. That's all. That's all. She just needs an audience.
Yeah, well, John and Emma are out. But of course, that is the dulcet tones of Naked Jim.
Hey, what's happening? Great to be here. Yeah, beautiful day in Santa Cruz. And desert season is upon us. So,
And of course, we've got everyone's favorite ginger. It's Bagel.
Greetings from Croptober in Oregon.
what?
It's smelling a little dank up here, I gotta say, with the season winding down. Getting out on the roads, there's a lot of aromas around here.
I see a little bit more than Macintosh apples, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, definitely overpowering the apple smell.
I see. So Thanksgiving could be in the offing for all we know.
Yep. Yeah, it's Croptober this month. Next month is Thanksgiving.
October, I love it.
Thanksgiving.
And, we have a late
It's like my
entry.
house.
Joining us, it's old school Douglas.
Hello. I am on the pretty girl couch, and I will not be using this damn whistle.
We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, not from my
Thank
mouth
you.
anyway.
Yes.
Thank you.
Not to be confused with D-Glove, Doug.
So, something interesting. Working in the garage yesterday, I had my first garage fire.
Oh,
That you know of.
Which
you
is
keep saying
shocking.
that. That concerns me. Yeah. And the thing is, I was grinding over on the workbench, and I was aware of a rag on the table, so I was kind of keeping a little side eye on the rag.
I gotta pause you there. Any listeners that have come by the Recycle Garage right now are just shaking their heads like, "Oh my God, I have seen that place." So yeah, it's one of those nightclubs that go up with pyrotechnics.
I've seen that rag.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yes, yeah.
Everything is combustible in there, including the possum. But so I was kind of keeping a side eye on it, and okay, we're good. I finished grinding, and then I see smoke, and I look over, and further to my right, the whole roll of paper towels on the whole dispenser are on fire.
I just love the fact you actually realized you might catch a fire, and we're just kind of glancing side eye. You're like, I'm probably going to start a fire.
Yeah, I know.
Just to swim for it.
Well, that's something I'm always telling people, safety wise, in the garage, be aware of where your sparks are going. And
you put so Liza just put one finger up in the air, and I'm like, if you give me a safety talk, this is going to go up your butt. I thought that was a safety talk.
Well, so it's just
Some people pay extra.
it's
the
just
briefing.
it's just
Yeah.
a little fire, but everything in the garage is flammable.
Oh, yeah, that place.
It will go up.
So we might be able to learn from your experience, just because it's funny.
So-
Describe how you effectively fought this fire so quickly.
Well, my first idea is salvage the paper towels before it gets too deep into them because it's still a full roll. So I decided to.
And those are not cheap paper towels.
I decided to grab a paper towel and just pull it out so I can just pull out the burning ones, which just basically encircled me in a ring of fire and then gave air and more coverage to the existing paper towels. Yeah. I'm like, well,
you added ventilation.
I added ventilation and surrounded myself and had embers flying through the air around me. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Did you go for the kerosene next to try and douse it?
So then I grabbed a rag, the one that was nearby, and tried to pat it out. And it just was, the rag was smaller than the flames at this point. So then I looked at now, yes, there are many fire extinguishers in the garage.
Yeah.
In fact, within 2 feet of the fire were 2 fire extinguishers. So I went to reach for one and went, I don't want to make a mess in here.
Oh no.
Also, note the ring is
zip
tied on, and I couldn't get it free.
Oh,
so now I'm like, okay, hold on.
You're gonna start beating the fire with your
I have
fire
to find
extinguisher.
pliers, nippers that I can cut that loose.
All the while hobbling to the door.
So then I saw the welding gloves that I had out. So I just grabbed the welding gloves, took the entire roll of paper towels, burning off, held them in my hand, ran out of the garage and put them on the ground. Then went back in, cut the zip tie, got the fire extinguisher and put it out outside.
that works.
Then we realized that's not the only flaming object you have run out with in your hands. That seems to be your go-to. Not beating it with a tree branch, but you're going to
Just
pick
get
it up
it
and
out
run
of the
with it.
garage.
Was it a battery? Was that what that was?
Oh yeah, the battery volcano, the lithium battery volcano.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah, I just grabbed it and ran out the door.
I could save it. I could save it.
I can say it.
But I did,
Harbor
yes.
Freight has a kit for this.
Crisis averted, but we didn't lose a roll of paper towels. And then I did put them out with a bottle of water.
Somebody came in and saw it and they said, that looks like the tortillas I used to make in college, the roll of paper towels. They were all charred like a burrito.
So, yes, crisis averted. But yeah, fire in that garage is no joke. There's a lot of flammable
We should just stop talking about it right now.
Yeah. So that was, I'm not going to say every time you say, Doug, that I know of. Did you have a fire in there?
A couple, I think.
Okay. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't.
Don't want to know. I wanted to give a quick shout out to our friends in the SFMC, San Francisco Motorcycle Club. This weekend celebrated their 120th anniversary.
Dang.
Big one. They did the whole camp out thing, huh?
Wow.
Oh,
120th.
big shout out. Yeah,
Cool.
Clay Murphy and crew.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, the whole gang. Yeah, we were up there. I was up there a few weeks ago. So really cool. Congratulations, SFMC. They're the third oldest or second.
I thought it was second. but I
Oakland,
could be wrong.
it's
Second.
Oakland is third.
I think so, yeah.
And I
New
think
York
San Francisco's
was
second,
first.
and it's like Brooklyn or something.
Yeah, Brooklyn or somewhere in New York, I think.
is first. So
Yeah.
still going strong. Also, let's see. I wanted to. There's a thing for sale. I've been trying to convince people to buy it.
I heard you trying to convince people today.
We took turns sitting in the chair listening to the spiel.
Okay, you don't want to hear about that? Then I've got something else.
Well, I didn't get the pitch. What is this all about?
Bagel, I did send you a pitch that you ignored that I'm going to show everyone else now. I sent you via Facebook Messenger.
Oh, I don't check Facebook Messenger. Why are you sending me stuff on there?
Oh, my God. There was something for sale on Facebook. Tell me that Bagel doesn't need to buy that and convert it into a scooter.
Oh, you need 2 of these. It's a 1970 Mercury snowmobile for $600.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds like something
Show
that
the
needs to be
gang.
taken to Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks.
So, and we've seen snowmobile conversions where you put a scooter in there. Bagel, did you check your marketplace? I mean, your Facebook?
I'm trying to check it right now and see if I can find
He's got to
it.
log on to the internet.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
It's
I got to get all the...
He's got a.
You
all
could
the
also
bits
take
sorted
that
here.
to Mike Corbin and have him make a couch out of it for you.
You could.
but it's reminiscent of like a 60s car,
Are
right?
there any detail? It says still runs, right?
Kind of
Oh.
like a Nash
What are the
Metropolitan.
Still runs, but haven't started in a couple years.
Ran when parked.
So, I mean, it looks like an old convertible car.
Where is it?
It's here somewhere.
In town, Santa Cruz?
Oh, it's a Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
In California.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I think it looks almost,
it almost looks like a
bumper
little
car.
Nash.
Yeah.
It looks like a Nash is already a small car. Now cut
Well,
a Nash
right.
in half.
Yeah, it's got a little oval grill in the front with
Can I see
two
that
headlights on either
yeah.
side. Yeah.
And a,
I
and
could
a
definitely see it
windshield.
flat track racing at AMA Vintage Days around the barrels.
Put a Honda Helix in there.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on a trailer or something. But that's the actual thing
you
itself.
can swipe and see the side view.
Okay. No
Yeah.
side boob in this one.
I swear the front of that looks like
It
it's something that came out of like a bumper car
Yeah,
ride.
bumper car.
It
That's
looks horribly
Bagel nails it, bumper
uncomfortable.
car.
Like the seat is like 2 feet wide, and you got to put.
Yeah, it looks
that
like a bumper car.
oh,
What year?
1970.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks horribly uncomfortable.
I'm
Yeah.
sure carb clean, you're up and running. That's it.
So I'm trying
Yeah.
to convince Bagel to get that. Bagel, you need to get that. I can go pick it up for you.
Sure, you can do that if you want. I don't have room for it.
Liza, go ahead and buy it. Drive it up to Bagel. I'm sure he'll reimburse you.
I got the time. And then the other thing I wanted to give a shout out is there is a interesting motorcycle for sale on Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, all that no one seems to want to buy. And the owner had reached out to me because no one has been bidding on it, and he's moving, and he's got to get rid of it. Ooh, Bagel, this might be another good one for you. Might as well just double down.
Okay.
So what this is a 1994, do you say Shangjiang?
Chongjiang.
Shangjiang? It's a Chinese motorcycle. For any of you who've been to Moto Talbot Museum, he has one there.
From 1994?
Yes, but
Wow.
no, hold on. So what this is it is a Chinese knockoff of a Ural, which is a Russian knockoff of a BMW. So it's a
yes.
knockoff of like a 40s motorcycle.
I've seen one of these before. It looked
pre-war.
horrible.
It's got that plaid seat and reverse gear, I think.
Yeah, in fact, I think I saw the one
Flathead.
at the Talbot.
Yeah.
it
well,
looked
this one is all
absolute-
black and is really cool.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you, Bagel. Somebody needs to get this. And this is a good running bike with sidecar. He's dropped the price from $6,000 to $3,000. He needs to get rid of it.
Tell him to keep dropping.
$3,000.
He may take less because he's moving. I'm just saying.
He realistically expects to get $3,000 from a 30-year-old Chinese motorcycle.
He's replaced the wiring harness, electronics. He's replaced all the bad Chinesium.
What's the blue book on that?
Nothing. They don't exist here. They don't exist. It's a weird thing.
Is this a good candidate for what's it worth?
Inheriting other people's problems is the phrase that comes to mind.
Well, here's the thing, Bagel. I think if somebody offered him $1,000, he may take it.
Sure, he would be smart too.
Yeah. To get a like 1940s replica bike is kind of cool.
You have
had all the
so much
kinks worked
room in
out.
your driveway, Liza. There's so much room in your driveway.
No, there isn't at all.
Yeah, there is.
No, there isn't.
You could start your own sidecar tour thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, somebody please. It's a 1994 Changjiang CJ 750 with sidecar. That
And
I
that's a
think is
750.
I think is really cool. But
So,
speaking of Chinesium, this is something that came up in the news that I'm finding really interesting. That may change everything. So you know how recently I said that CF Moto, I believe, has created a bike that is going to be the next bike that breaks through the wall of the Chinese, image, negative image, and becomes a a side-by-side contender with any Japanese and German bikes, or European. Just like it's just like the Japanese back in the 60s when they came in and everyone thought they were shit, they're cheap, don't get them. But now look where they are, right? And the Chinese bikes have been trash, but both Kove and CF Moto have both got bikes that people are really interested in now. You're getting a lot of technology for the money, and I think this could be the thing that breaks through. But all of this might be coming to an end. And this may change really history. We could see it coming, right? We've been here before. We'll be here again. Well, the U.S. Department of Commerce issued, basically the headline says, citing national security concerns, Biden-Harris administration announces inquiry into connected vehicles. Well, what does this mean? And I want to give some credit. I learned about this on Ride Apart, and there is an article by Robbie Bacon that says U.S. seeks to ban power sport manufacturers CF Moto, just like TikTok and others. So, Bagel, I think you have a better understanding of this. Can you explain what exactly this means?
So basically what this is they are seeking public comment on the risks of connected vehicles, meaning vehicles that have internet or network connectivity devices and software on board.
Teslas and Zeros, for instance.
Right. But this is specifically directed at vehicles coming from China.
And Russia.
And Russia too? I didn't see that part.
And Russia.
Okay. So China and Russia, citing national security reasons. And, maybe there is some concern there. I mean, if you connect a device to another device, with some sort of a network connection, there is potential for the data to be accessed from one device to the other. It sounds like they are concerned about the possibility of hacking or some sort of possibly manipulation of these devices or vehicles.
So let me read you.
It's very vague, though. There are no specifics that are mentioned.
Let me read you a quote from U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo. She says, "It doesn't take a lot of imagination to think of how foreign government with access to connected vehicles could pose a serious risk to both our national security and the personal privacy of U.S. citizens." What comes to mind, even though this is different, but the exploding pagers and walkie-talkies, right, in Lebanon, right?
Right. Although that's a different kind of risk.
It is,
we'll say
but
right there.
It
Because
was
those
targeted.
Sure.
So
right.
Could Neil, you seem to have some knowledge in this area. Could somebody hack into a Tesla and take control of it potentially, or maybe cause the batteries to overheat and catch fire?
Well, as long as something isn't there, it has connectivity, there's always that possibility. So it's important that the software platform be designed in such a way that not only avoids that, but is reviewable by third parties and audited on a regular basis to look for security vulnerabilities and subject it also to penetration tests called pen tests in the industry to try to ferret these things out before you have what's called a 0-day exploit in the wild. So as far as so electric vehicles and automobiles have very, very powerful platforms these days, and they have a lot of services. They have connectivity with CarPlay and Android and this kind of thing. So there's a lot of ensnarement with that connectivity, as well as the manufacturers themselves are harvesting the data from the vehicles already and selling it. It's a revenue stream for them. And
okay, so can I ask a brief question? So, what's typical data that if you've got a newer car and it's got all that connectivity, what's typical data that they're taking and selling?
where you drive, how you drive. Do you have a lot of hard braking events? So that's being shared with insurance companies, for example.
So that's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's already happening.
Okay.
Your speed location,
and they can correlate that with GPS to determine if you're speeding or not.
So there's no secrets anymore. Yeah.
No.
Not with a newer car.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm finished.
Contrast that with a motorcycle. There isn't a lot going on in a motorcycle. You have anti-lock brakes, you have an engine control unit.
Right.
And then you can monitor some statistics from that, but you don't have any of this other stuff.
Well, I will say my Tenere and my Suzuki GSX 1000 GT, both I can connect my phone to.
Sure.
Right, but are they connected to anything else?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't use that shit because it's so
to that.
complicated, but like a map will pop up on the Suzuki, so I don't know.
So, and just so you know, when they're looking into an inquiry, but the U.S. Commerce Department, they've already proposed rules that would ban vehicles with software and hardware links to China and Russia by model year 2027. So they've already come up with a proposal to ban. So this is what the potential inquiry is looking into.
Yeah.
So what that means is motorcycle manufacturers like CF Moto and Kove, who, like I said, are on the precipice of success here in the States, may just be ensnared in that net that's meant to protect us from potential Russian, Chinese spies, whatever. But I was talking to Adrian earlier, and I said, how are the motorcycles dangerous? Like, well, they could potentially hack into... go reverse, hack into the motorcycle, then get into your phone. Now they have access to a lot more.
It's like the electric bicycles. Yeah, the
Right.
electric bicycles seem to be more like that.
Now, what else can they get access to once they're into your phone?
Probably the closest thing to that where there's actually a security vulnerability that the Chinese have put into the marketplace is a company called Hikvision or Hikvision. They have these webcams that were popular. And they were banned several years ago because they have built-in backdoors that the Chinese government can use the data collected from these cameras.
So there's precedent.
So there's already some bad actors in the Chinese government who are doing this kind of hackery.
Not to mention, Adrian also said they could easily throw in an extra chip onto a board. Would anyone notice?
It's possible.
You mean besides me?
People who inspect it.
So
would.
there's a whole thing about secure boot, and you have a chain of trust with that, and there's a right way to do that to ensure that you have that the code that you're starting up in your computer is certified and can be tracked back to a source. There was a thing that happened with a company called Supermicro a few years ago where in the middle of that chain was a really narrow link that went to the serial memory, and they buried a chip inside of the printed circuit board itself. You couldn't actually see it. That intercepted the signal going back and forth from the main CPU doing the booting and this little boot ROM that was outside. So yeah, it's possible to do that kind of exploit in something where you don't have complete control over the supply chain, or such a thing could be inserted to, allow bad actors to put in code that could do these exploits that don't obey security rules, for example.
Now, you get a company like CF Moto who makes engines for KTM, assuming that they also make the, the electronics to go to
engine control unit.
So might that then fall under, like, does that, and also then we can start looking at all of the manufacturers, like Harley Davidson. Are they buying any electronics that might originate from China?
The main vendors in that space are tier one OEMs. So companies like Siemens, for example, and Renesas, which a Japanese company now,
right,
supplies most of the embedded CPUs that are used in engine control units in the world.
So here's the other question: Is Bagel? Go ahead.
Well, I want to kind of go a little bit further into
Yeah.
some of these issues too, because it's part of the concern, I think, is the ability to access personal data through these devices that you're connecting your phone to. But another thing that came to my mind is that there's a lot of regulation and restriction on the type of technology that can be sold in different places. And one of the things that is ubiquitous in technology in the United States is something called export grade encryption, which is basically it's encryption software that allows you to have secure communications that meets a certain standard. But part of that standard is that it includes a backdoor that the U.S. government has access to, and virtually all encryption software has this that's available in the United States.
I don't like anyone near my back
Are you
door.
talking about RSA in particular? Because not all of them support that.
Not all of them, but
Yeah.
but most technology, it is required if it's going to be sold here. And I wonder if part of this may be that some of these devices don't have that as part of their the way that they function. And that may be part of the reason why they're seeking to ban it, because it doesn't meet that standard.
Well, and so here's my other question: is how much of this is fear mongering and trying to
Start a trade war?
as the Chinese are
escalate a trade
improving the quality and are about to break into the market.
I know that there's been pushback on Chinese electric cars.
But we saw this.
I
with
don't
the
know.
Japan-
I just listened to Neil a couple of minutes ago. I think it's legit. And in the same vein, if you look, right, the U.S. just brought back chip manufacturing, right? I know over the hill in Silicon Valley, they just like, what, a $2.5 roughly billion investment in chip making, bringing it back to the United States. So I think there's an argument to be made that, yeah, the tech stuff's real. We should make it at home. For them,
Yeah. That said, chips used in control systems, ECUs and things like that, there aren't a lot. I think like maybe whoever bought Atmel microchip, and I know Intel had a footprint there, but most of those chips are already coming from overseas. Renesas has the biggest market share in terms of ECU type of stuff.
Right. But my concern is, why is this legislation targeting specifically Chinese and Russian
because I don't trust them.
Bagel's like, fuck the government.
I know. I'm not going to argue with that.
Government
but why
overreach.
hold on. Why is it only targeting those? Why couldn't there be nefarious actors in the U.S. market who are selling products that are going to steal people's information and exploit their data
You mean
possibly
like General Motors?
Because U.S.
already
companies
does.
possibly, or Tesla or other companies?
Because U.S. companies can't make money off it if they're doing it in other places.
Yeah, there's a definite double standard there, and
Right.
kind of
Good point,
of a,
Bagel.
kind of
Because-
a jingoism going on.
Right, because are they actually trying to protect consumers here, or are they trying to protect something else?
Well, and that's why I said in the 60s, when the Japanese manufacturers came in, they set up tariffs and restrictions on, so they didn't compete with our domestic brands. And is this a form of that? Because we've learned the tariffs only punish the purchasers, not the manufacturers.
Yeah, it's a tax basically.
I mean, and Chinese, there's a lot of scooter companies that are going to fall under this too, that are falling under that umbrella, which is like, I don't think any of these scooters or motorcycles are dangerous, but they may be caught in the net, which could completely alter history before it happens.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Bagel, I do feel like this is a proxy for starting a trade war. It's not, a huge concern when you're talking about a motorcycle, especially a simpler motorcycle like a CF Moto versus, a top of the line full boat electronics package like your Suzuki that Jim was talking about.
But it could stop like 1 million foreign cars coming into the country based on the premise of a security threat. Right?
Yeah. So I think it's it goes in that with general protectionism and paranoia, and some of it's legitimate. We want to protect our industry and all that. At least they should be honest about it. So the question to ask is that relates to what you were touching on is if this is overblown and if it's a proxy, why target CF Moto in particular, who isn't directly
They're not the
competing?
target.
They'll just get caught up in
They're
it
caught in it.
Yeah.
But
because the paper says kind of thing.
here's a question. What is the leading American manufacturer of electric cars right now?
Well, that would be Tesla.
Right. And there are a ton of Chinese electric vehicles that are being sold around the world that are ready to come to this country. Is there a chance?
BYD in particular. But,
Is there a chance that there's some influence going on, much like Harley against the Honda? Is this Tesla versus Chinese manufacturers keeping them out?
It's all of the above.
Or is this just a conspiracy theory? I don't know.
There's always people who want to try to game the system and gain an advantage, and never puts that past Elon Musk to be capable of doing that.
And the company that Neil referenced, BYD, they got some slick marketing. I mean, it's talking about cooling the planet.
They have some nice stuff.
Yeah, it's slick.
Doug, what do you think could happen if vehicles were hacked and gotten control of? How do you see them being used as security breaches? Do you see them as weapons, or is it more about getting
just
info?
Data.
I mean, they could hack into Teslas
They
and
could find
control
out
them.
what kind of porn you're watching as you go down the street.
What's the movie you brought this up right earlier today?
What, the porn movie Doug's watched?
No, the apocalyptic movie where all the Teslas were all driving down this freeway and piling up because they'd all been hacked.
Yeah, I just saw that.
What was that?
With us?
I love her. She's
Sandra
a great
Bullock.
actress. Sandra Bullock, yeah.
Yes.
Like the day after or something like that.
Yeah. I forget.
It wasn't
28 days
great,
later.
but it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just
I-
saw it like a couple months ago.
But I don't think that there's some nefarious plot to like commandeer all the electric vehicles and drive them to one point and crash them together.
It's about the data collection, and that
Right.
was the reason for the pushback on TikTok, which aggressively collects data.
If they go sentient,
much worse than Facebook does. Although all the social media companies do. That's
Evil.
their
Right.
That's how
And
they
why-
collect it. But
why is
TikTok
there-
was just super aggressive about it.
Sure, but why is there no concern about these other companies that are doing it, even if they're doing it less? I mean, how is that safer if they're just doing it not as aggressively?
Jingoism, racism.
Right.
I'll
just play devil's advocate, right?
Well-
Over the hill in Sunnyvale, Applied Materials is building massive complexes to build computer chips. Well, the machines that make the chips, right?
Yeah.
Lockheed Martin is down the street. Moffett Field's right there. There's a huge American intelligence presence in Sunnyvale because it all dates back to the missile stuff, right? The Blue Cube and missiles and rocket science and shit. So I think it's like anything. It's a little bit easier to keep an eye on stuff in your own backyard than it is, say, hidden in a mountain in China or something like that. So I think there's a balance to be had. The Earth is flat. I don't know if you can say it anymore. It's like the Earth is shared by everybody now. You can't, isolationism doesn't work. But, do you want one of your known foreign adversaries making a shit ton of electronics in your world, knowing that electronics drives what's happening?
So,
and just I want to say I think the most likely scenario that's motivating this, other than the whole trade war thing, in terms of the actual technology concern, is probably the concern that there could be some government employee who buys a Chinese car and connects their phone to it, and one day maybe they leave their personal phone at home,
about that, but right?
and they connect
Totally.
and they connect their work phone to it to get the maps to see where they're going, and then their work phone gets
it's a point of entry.
Launch codes.
And
Launch
could be used to track their location.
No thumb drives. Thumb drives with a launch code. That's I didn't even think
Right.
about that, Bagel, but that's like the simple stuff. Is
This
probably
is
the
why
most
I'm like
likely.
wrapping my head around what does this mean? What?
Well, it means it's
Right.
CF Moto, and those guys are going to take the connectivity off the motorcycle, and that's cool, and we can still get it, and maybe even be cheaper.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And frankly, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be
too.
okay.
I have it on
I
both
wish
the bikes.
my truck didn't have that
Yeah.
connectivity.
I'd be fine
My car
without it.
doesn't.
So
Yeah, I don't want that.
there were some on the Right Apart
Didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
article.
yeah.
There were some comments which are interesting. One guy said, "Hell yeah, get him out of here. We have enough manufacturers to choose from already." Another one said, "Yeah, like I have to worry about that on my 1988 XT350. doesn't care. But then another person said it's also crazy once they figured out that one, Teslas and now some other non-Chinese cars are restricted in some Chinese garages and buildings. And two, China has figured out how to engineer and manufacture good things at lower costs than Western companies. They're spooked and want to protect those Western companies. It didn't work in the 70s when the Japanese came in with a cheaper product, and I doubt it will work this time. But he thinks it's all bad laws and regulations that are created to protect industry, but end up causing headache and really hurting the consumer.
Yep, dollar bill,
Right.
y'all.
Wow. If they do this and they ban connected vehicles from China and Russia and wherever else, then the Chinese are probably just going to turn around and say, okay, well then no connectivity, we'll just sell you a cheap car.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting. So we'll keep an eye on this, but
and also just a quick note, if they do that, that will lower the price of production of their vehicles, so they can sell them for even less. So even with the the crazy tariffs that they're imposing on cars now, they could be undercutting the U.S. market that insists on having all this connectivity software that raises the price up on U.S. made vehicles, and this could hurt the U.S. market as a consequence.
But does it also mean that if you're interested in buying a CF Moto or a Kove, you have 2 years to do it?
Potentially, yeah.
The private market always adjusts. They'll be fine. They'll just be
but to get one that's fully loaded.
Oh, if you wanted the full fee.
Yeah.
Well, if the concern is about, these are commodity products these days, the ECU. They could very easily source a European manufactured one from Bosch or one of the other tier ones and just go with that. Whoever KTM was buying from.
Can I just say, is this what war looks like?
It was like retail war.
Is this what modern day war looks like?
I think it depends on who you ask.
I mean, is this a jab at China that may then counter another way? I mean, these are all maneuvers, right?
Yep.
Anyway.
And they will probably retaliate by putting restrictions on American products, which we don't sell all that many of in China to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Well, and
the ones that we do, in particular automobiles, have huge tariffs applied to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is true throughout Asia. Actually, the same thing in Korea and Taiwan. You pay a 50% tariff to bring a vehicle into, say, Singapore, for example.
Yeah, Pakistan too.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, I gotta go.
All right, see you, Doug.
Peace out.
Bye.
So, I don't know if I'm just getting old.
Yes.
Yeah, insert pun there.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that my opinion or view has changed in some things.
They mean less?
So one of them was we had somebody reach out to us in the email saying, hey, I'm new to the area. Do you guys organize group rides? And I went, no.
Did you not hear the last podcast?
No. Why would I want to do that? That's a pain in the ass and a hassle. If I want to go for a ride, I can call one person, maybe two, and go for a ride. But I remembered oh yeah, back in the old days, it was a group thing, and you'd call up all your friends, let's go for a ride, and you'd turn it into a group thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, young people like to do that.
And I will say,
socially,
I have had some great memories with the random misfit person that shows up on a Thursday. I really have. Hey, Jim, are you around to go for a ride? I'm like, sure. It turned out to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun to go for a ride and
Sure.
one or two people, but to go through the effort to try and coordinate and call everyone, I don't have time for that. I don't care anymore. Well, there's something else that I realize, am I just getting old? Because there are certain motorcycle trends that I'm just annoyed by. I'm just annoyed. And there's one in particular that really when people come to the garage with this, I can't help but just say something and kind of criticize.
Is it the little nuts that hang down off the license plate in the back?
D's nuts?
Trucker nuts. Yeah.
Trucker nuts? No, it's not that, believe it or not. It is.
Trucker nuts.
Yeah, it is tucked license plates.
Ah, yes.
Tucked license plates. So for those who aren't familiar with it, this trend originated from stunters who would remove the license plate mount from the back of the bike and tuck it up.
Fender
eliminator and tuck it up underneath the seat so that it's flipped up and you can barely see it, so that if you're evading the police or tolls or whatever, it's not captured. But if you do get pulled over, you can say, oh, sorry, it just got
it's
bent
right there.
down. It's right here, blah, 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 blah. But there are a lot of people who think it's cool and now purposely do that. In fact, we had a listener drop by last week who was on a Twisted Road rental bike. Was it like an Aprilia, I believe, right? 660?
I didn't see it.
Yeah. It's an Aprilia sport bike that they'd done a fender eliminator and tucked the license plate up that was like pointing to the sky above the tire. Like you couldn't read it. And I went, that is stupid. That is just an invitation for a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you as a renter, it's on you.
And he didn't
Right.
even notice. He's renting, but for the owner of the bike, I think it's irresponsible.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I just think you're replicating something meant to be evasive, but now people think it's cool. And a lot of young people will do that and tuck it under and flip it up for no reason other than they think it looks cool.
It's
Just because it's the style.
It's a bike life thing.
Yeah, it is a style, and I hate it. I
Now,
hate it.
Are you okay with the chopper builds where they'll bend it around another thing that's on the outside of the bike that's not under the fender, so to speak, but it might be around like a shroud or something?
I have a list.
Oh my.
She's checking it twice.
Okay.
But I just want to see, how do you guys feel about the tucked license plates?
I think it's lame.
It's stupid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
mean-
I'm not a fan so much.
I don't care I wouldn't do it to one of my bikes, but if I bought a bike that I was stoked on that had it, I wouldn't really go crazy. I mean, I'm not looking for a reason to get pulled
It
over.
gains you
at the
nothing
same
but
time.
puts you at risk.
I'm just saying, I'm not looking for a reason to get pulled over, but I don't think I have quite the visceral dislike for it that you do. I'm a little more.
This is why I think, as I'm getting older. So you mentioned it, and I will go there. Side taillights, license plates, I don't like.
Like the vertically mounted license plates?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. And I want to clarify, because a lot of the things on my list do come out of like the chopper customs, which I love expression. I love creation. I love finding the edges and the limits of function, right? I think that raked forks are cool and, all that stuff. I think that's fun. I think it's expression. And I was once riding next to somebody who had done the side license plate mount that it's curved and it's attached to the axle. And we were going up, it was like getting dark, and we were going up 17 to Scotts Valley, and it gets dark, and I'm riding on the right side of him, and I look over and I realize I can no longer see him because his light is on the other side of the wheel. And I'm like, dude, this is not safe.
You sure you weren't too close?
No, I was riding staggered. And I couldn't see him from the right side of him.
Right.
So the taillight was really far forward.
It was at the
Yeah.
it was at the axle. Yeah, it was
Right.
mounted at the axle. And
Yeah.
I went, this is kind of dumb. You're just invisible to anyone on the right side of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're just posing a danger threat to yourself.
You couldn't see the headlight? His headlight?
Not really. I mean, I couldn't see the back of the bike
All right.
at all.
Your boomer's starting to show, but
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Okay, boomer.
There's a reason why they have taillights.
I do
True,
think
true.
that I do like the curved license plates when the tail light is still on the back of the
Functioning,
bike
yeah.
and functioning.
More importantly, a brake light, but yeah, or all the above.
Yes. But when people put the license plate there, but don't add the light, I've seen people do that where they just attach the license plate to the swing arm and don't put a light. There is another invitation for a ticket that I think is dumb, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But when like safety becomes an issue, so yeah, I don't like it. The light on the side.
It's
Opinions?
certainly not so great for a passenger on the back, and we'll get to passengers in a bit. But yeah, you cut. You got this stuff hanging off the side. Your leg catches the ground and gets thrown back. It could cut you up.
Well, your side cases could do that too.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's, because typically you see them on a custom build and your custom, and the guy was probably like, I wish I wasn't out at night either because I can't see and the bike doesn't perform great. So I think on custom stuff, that's the point, is to have the expression and all that stuff. So again, yeah, on a group ride at night, maybe not the best idea, but most of the time those bikes, you're just cruising around, showing it off,
Yeah, and I get that. And I I can appreciate that people want the look, with the cool taillight on the side, and that, kind of harkens back to some early motorcycles that, had lights in weird places when they first started putting them on bikes. But I agree with Liza that there's a function for that and a reason why you have those lights. It's for visibility, so people can see you from behind, so they don't hit you. So I think in practical terms, if you're gonna change your lighting on the rear of your bike, make sure that it's visible, not from just one side, because that
or
does
you can
put
do that
at
little
risk.
strip underneath the fender.
Sure,
To
there's
add
all
to it.
kinds.
And it is not
all
hard.
kinds
You can even do it with a AAA battery. It's not like you have to.
Well,
but I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, another one on my list, and this I encountered yesterday, and maybe Jim,
Why are you pointing at me?
you may have encountered this yesterday too, because we live pretty close to each other. And yesterday, just a block over, there was a rather large group of motorcyclists I could hear at the intersection. And couldn't see them, but I could tell there was a bunch of big twins in the group.
Okay.
I could also hear revving of sport bikes. It was a little bit about the revving was unnecessary and stupid. I've been there. I know. Why do you do that? It's dumb. But what really annoyed me, there was a bunch of baggers with the blaring radios that you could hear for blocks. That is another trend that drives me nuts. The excessively loud.
Well, Harleys are not connected, so there's no Bluetooth technology there. So
no, they are. The new ones are, I believe.
They woke. I'm sorry, I went there.
And that is a trend that I hate. I hate the loud, extremely loud stereos.
And they sound like shit too.
Yeah, the
Usually.
acoustics are bad.
Terrible.
The music they listen to is bad. Oh wait,
Again, I will be the counter
Sometimes.
voice. Where I have seen that work, because I agree with you in general. But if you've ever been to New Orleans, specifically Bourbon Street, in that area, I have seen the coolest, like crazy looking choppers parked on the corner with those stereo systems pumping the most boss hip hop over the entire intersection, and it was a lot of fun.
Rules are different in New Orleans.
So I'll say in Bourbon Street, I think it's okay. Outside of that, I'm with you.
But I like when we rode, I think it was the Victory that we test rode.
Yeah, cross country.
And I've ridden Indians that have this. It's a feature built in that as you accelerate, the radio turns up. And then when you slow down and decelerate, it turns it down.
Do you remember the best part about those stereos?
What is that?
The volume went to 11. No joke, it did. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, we rode those in Vegas. Yeah.
But it would adapt and turn it down as you.
It was pretty cool.
And so that's just, I find that really annoying, the ones that play that loud music. And I know I sound old.
No, when you see that guy at the stoplight and
Not too loud,
Journey's
too old.
playing at 100 decibels, and you're like, bro.
Journey.
And can I add a little addendum on there to
Yeah.
one of the things you mentioned when you started with the revving the engines? Now, I get if you have an older bike, especially a bike that's carbureted, sometimes it doesn't idle really well, and you got to kind of blip the throttle a little bit to keep it, keep it from dying. But the other day, I came up to a stoplight, and the guy on a brand new Triumph pulled up in the turn lane next to me, and as we're waiting for the light, he's just blipping his throttle, blum, blum, blum. I'm like, dude, your bike is fuel injected. You don't. It's not going to stall on you. What are you worried about?
Did you smoke him at the light?
Oh, he turned left. So
Okay.
whatever.
Hey, Bagel, just curious, when you rev up your Vespa, what does it sound like?
Vacuum cleaner.
Like a fine wine.
I don't. Well, my modern Vespas are injected, so I don't rev them.
So
Now my vintage bikes I will, and it's just a little blip blip. But
another one that I think is dumb is the dark side, car tires on bike to save money.
Oh, Wendy Crockett is going to
I know.
punch you in the
depends.
Now-
that
leg.
depends.
Yes. For somebody doing long distance straight rides,
Yes,
there's an exception, and those are
Yep.
extreme long distance riders.
agreed.
But people who are saving money or think it looks cool
Or who are titting the twisties on it? Oh man,
is dumb.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say if you're saving money, that's frugal. Now, if you do it because it looks cool and it's not a chopper, because again, back to the custom bikes, you'll see the car tire in the back, might say Hoosier on it, you never know.
Yeah.
But it's okay. But yeah, if you're going to daily ride as a car tire, it's probably not.
It came out of like the bobber trend, and they use a lot of car parts to rebuild the bikes, and so that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Bagel, what you got?
Well, I was going to say you could do that to save money. You might save yourself 1-2 tires, maybe, but the cost is in the quality of your ride. You're paying a price for that. You know, it's like you might be saving a few bucks, but your handling goes to shit.
That is true.
But you get used to it. But man, that's a heavy price to pay, I think.
So this next one, I don't agree with. So I know also, I want to just openly admit, I am a hypocrite.
Yeah, you crossed your arms all of a sudden. I see this.
I am a hypocrite. I know. But other people have brought this up because I was asking people what trends they hate. And there are people who said, I hate it when people put knobbies on street bikes.
Give an example.
Like the apocalyptic looking bikes where you put knobbies on. Even like my Triumph Scrambler was not going off road, but I put knobbies on it because it looks cool.
Like a BMW R9T, and you throw knobbies on it or something like that. Yeah. Pick your genre.
If you put knobbies on a street bike that you're riding on the street, yes.
Yeah.
And if you're going to take it off road, then that's cool.
True. I did it because
I agree with Bagel.
The Scrambler hints that it could go off road, but you're never taking the chance.
Well, you're certainly not.
No.
Well, somebody could.
But
and if they do, then it's awesome.
Yeah, that's why it's a Scrambler.
Like Scotty's got his SV650 set up that way.
So I think that it's cool, and that's why I'm admitting I'm a hypocrite, because there are a lot of people who think it's stupid because you're giving up traction and you're getting tires that are going to wear out a lot faster. So I'm like, okay, I see your point. So I'll acknowledge it and mention it, but I still think it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool, especially if they get dirty. Yeah.
Another one that I just think is dumb. I haven't seen this as much, but when the chopper trend was really big and people were taking all sorts of bikes and chopping them up, we'd see it at like the dirt bag challenge, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And a common thing is people would take a Japanese cruiser and turn it into a rigid by removing the shock absorbers and putting in straight pipe.
Yep.
To turn it into a rigid. It's like, why?
Because choppers.
Not cool.
Because choppers.
That's not cool.
Because you don't have enough pain in your life.
Yeah.
No. I mean, there's no need to have a rigid.
I've heard Liza say before, instead of that, just put some sandpaper in your ass and ride around.
when you want an excuse to go see your chiropractor more often, they're a perfect fit.
Yeah. Break your tailbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. Another one.
Hey, add a Springer seat, you're all good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Another one that I hate.
Supply.
And it's funny, the person who brought this up is the person I think of who has done it the most. And that would be our dear friend Adrienne, who rattle cans her bikes flat black. Every single one of them. And I've bought some of her bikes.
What about the pink pony?
It got rattle can black.
Okay.
Every single one. The DRZ that I bought, I had to take all that paint off. And the thing is, she doesn't prep it. She just spray paints it. And then you got peeling paint. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But that was like a trend for a while, just to make them flat black. I hate it.
Kind of an apocalyptic look, right?
A little zombie action.
It is. I know. I'm just whining. So another one. I think Jim. I'm going to think I might get you on board with this one.
I'm trying to be counterculture, but
I know you are. But something that annoys me is when I see dirt bikes on city streets and freeways, non-plated dirt bikes that people are out stunting on public streets.
Mm-hmm.
When I was down in LA, a dude on a dirt bike was doing a wheelie up the freeway entrance.
And tell me you did not say that's actually pretty fucking cool.
No, I did not.
Oh well, that's where you and I differ.
No, because it casts a negative image on all bikers, and it's something that I hate seeing. I hate it.
That's another hashtag bike life thing.
So I will segue the conversation a bit in the fact I talked to a non-motorcyclist, and I'm like, hey, we're going to chat about this tonight. What are the annoying things about you as a non-motorcyclist that really annoy you? Is it this? And is it this, that, the other thing? There's so many things, right, that would drive someone nuts. There was only one.
Loud pipes.
There was only one.
Loud pipes.
Lane splitting?
Noise. And it could be a stereo at the stoplight. It could be revving your engines. It could be that, Japanese bike with the Yoshimura exhaust going down your street. It doesn't matter which noise it was. It could be someone lane splitting past you at 70, making a lot of noise. Noise was the number one issue.
It
was the only issue.
When I had my Ducati, it came with a Two Brothers exhaust on it that would set off car alarms as I drove down the street. Not revving high, just going down the street, it would set off car alarms.
Did you think that was
I was
cool?
embarrassed. No, I was embarrassed. And I was very aware when I was leaving my driveway, like if it was early in the morning, going out to go ride with people, I'd kind of push it out into the street. Like I was self-conscious of that.
So it's almost a conversation for another day, because when you think about exhaust notes and frequency and what that represents to motorcycle culture, I think it's a deep dive conversation, because, I mean, we all love a beautiful exhaust note. Sometimes they're deep and sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're loud, like, two-stroke race bikes, whatever your elixir is. But
excessive revving when you're sitting still. That says, look at me.
Look at this, for example. You and I went for a ride down the 17-mile drive in beautiful Monterey, right?
Oh, yes.
Historic 17-mile drive.
I know where you're going.
And we were stoked, and we pulled up to the little Ranger hut, and we were happy to pay our $5 or whatever it was to take a nice cruise through there. And we were politely asked to leave.
Yep.
Why? They don't like motorcycles. Why? Because of the noise.
Because of all the loud motorcycles, and the residents on that road have said, we don't want them coming here. So us on our quiet bikes got turned away.
We're discriminated against. So anyway, I do love a loud boss motorcycle. Don't get me wrong. But it's an interesting thing to think about. But for the general public, which is 98% of the rest of the people in this country, the noise is the only thing that pisses them off.
Yeah. The last complaint I have, the last bitch and moan I have, is fashion over safety. When you see people wearing like the short jackets and they're on a sport bike and there's like 12 inches of their lower back exposed, you know?
Come on. What about the Vans with the shorts, tank top, and just the roost guard?
Or even, people just wear like the leather vest and nothing else. I'm like...
Or the DOT do-rags in states that don't have helmet laws.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah, but even just when people are, and it's a common thing. I think, did Tad bring that up? He's like, or did you bring that up? No,
I did.
You brought that up. That a lot of women want something cute over safe. And I'll agree. I've seen a lot of women who want something cute. And they want something that's going to fit right, even though it might be a little short or not actually.
Then how come all the women around here are pissed because everything's pink and looks cute?
I'm just saying there are a lot of people who want to look cute over or cool.
Well, right. If that's driving the products that are out there, that's what's going to be available.
I feel like we should just be doing this show from Daytona Beach. You know what I mean? It's about time for a Busa bro to rip by.
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh my
god. So that's my bitch and moan session. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add of trends you hate?
I mean, I'll throw one out at you. And let me preface it by this. I don't hate any of them. Because one of the things I sincerely love about motorcycling, and I think I don't want to speak for anyone, but maybe other people share it, is the individual freedom. And you talked about it, Liza, right? It's a great way to express ourselves. And the great thing about motorcycling is, hey, we can do a group ride, but most of us prefer not to. We like, we dance to our own tune and we like to do our own things. So I'll preface it with that. One of the things that's irritating to me that I see in culture, it's a cultural thing, is the whole fuck you motorcycles thing, right? Lane splitting because fuck you. And I don't know if you see it, but you'll see it on social media. And and I'll just talk about it, is the people that kind of put this stuff out there, they do cool shit, so don't get me wrong. But it's a marketing about where you'll see, motorcycles because fuck you, or even some of the younger people that come by the garage and, I got cut off in 17, so I rode up to them and I flipped them off and said fuck you and everything, right?
Yeah. There's whole videos of people doing stuff like that and then bashing
Smacking
the mirrors off.
yeah.
Exactly.
And they think that's cool.
So what I'll say
And
is,
I don't like that.
What I'll
No,
say
it's
is
idiocy.
I hypocritical again. I flip people off. I've mouthed at people, but I fight that all the time because I don't think it's a good thing. A for us as motorcyclists, right? Is if you have a bad moment with a car or an Amish buggy like you do, Liza, put it behind you as fast as you can, right?
Yeah.
Put it on.
It's important to stay in your right mental space,
in
to
your
be
right
in
frame
your
of
right.
mind. And the sooner you disengage with that driver, and I'll be honest with you, I think 95% of the drivers out there, they just don't see us. They're nice people. They just didn't see us.
And that's how we all ride, as if we're invisible.
I think that's a good way to
And
approach
so
it.
if somebody's going to merge into me, I don't get mad. I get out of there.
Yeah, and
I'm more maneuverable than you are.
And
Well-
I had this experience on Friday. I was coming over the hill and traffic was backed up because the semi was stalled at the summit.
I was on the same backup. Thank God for lane
and
splitting.
a woman in the part of 17 as you're climbing up the hill through Redwood Estates that isn't divided. A woman did a U-turn in front of me.
Huey, yeah.
Oh,
As I was lane splitting my way over.
Ooh.
And,
With no turn signal, right?
Oh, no turn
The
signal.
fucking
I was like,
unsignal lane change.
so
Wow.
the car had stopped to let her in, I guess. And
Oh,
so, I was on my brake and I moved over and, crisis averted. I gave her a thumbs down.
And there
That's
you go.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But smashing mirrors, yes, there are whole videos of people doing this.
Yeah, but even
Yeah.
like
and also, but I just want to mention that when you do things like that, you are going to enrage that driver. You think you're going to teach them a lesson or something.
They're in a
But
car.
No,
No.
you're going to piss them off, and they're in a cage, and you're in a meat suit on a
Yeah.
We
on a
lose.
two-wheeled vehicle. You're
Yeah.
going to lose
You're
if they
vulnerable.
come after you. At the very least, they're going to run you off the road, and that nearly happened to me once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like I
don't
said,
do
we all ride as if they can't see us because often they can.
So that's what
Well, they're
gets
often
under,
not looking. So.
gets
I don't
under
get
my
mad.
saddle. Yeah,
I
under
don't
my
get mad.
saddle.
I just get out of there.
But for me, it's more like the marketing. When you see the marketing of like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just to me, it's low energy. But again, motorcycles, if it's your thing, cool.
Well, it's promoting hostility is what it is.
Yeah.
And,
It
and
seems
that only
childish.
gets right. And that just returns the same hostility back.
Well, I saw this one thing, and I'm going to get in trouble for mentioning it, but it's a cool company and a cool dude that runs it and everything. But it was like lane splitting because fuck you. And I lane split like most days, probably like Neil. Like I'm in the thick most of the time. And in California, drivers, as we know, they're kind of cool. A lot of people, if they see you, will give you some room, right? And I want a shirt that says lane splitting. Hey, thanks a bunch for moving over. I hope the rest of the people watch that. Anyway.
Yeah, we've talked about that, how we kind of wave and acknowledge. Thank you for moving.
If
Thank
I
you.
can wave,
You're a
I do,
helper.
man. Yeah. Because I see a lot of these people, I think, a lot of the time heading over that mountain highway. So
Yeah.
you want to make
Yep.
friends.
Bagel, are there any trends in scooters that annoy you? Are there trends in scooters other than the mods?
I know. I mean, that's just part of the fixtures and scootering. But I would say one of the trends that really annoys me, and I'm going to be a little bit hypocritical here because I
Okay.
have a bike that I kind of want to do this to, which is it's kind of already been done to it.
Oh, okay.
Is patina. I am not a fan of patina.
That's awesome.
Patina is a euphemism for rust. Rust is cancer.
Neglect.
Right, neglect. That's not the way to treat a vehicle that you care about. Now, I think if there's a situation, and I'm talking specifically about vehicles that are in good condition, that
Right.
people
and they lacquer it
patinify.
to prevent it from rusting
So it's
more,
a-
but maintain.
well,
It's this whole
but they lacquer
preservation
over the
versus
rust.
restoration argument, right?
Well, no, they're talking about like there is actual rust that they're like lacquering over.
Yeah.
like they're not preventing rust; they're sealing it in,
Right.
like because they
I
want
know
it to
people
rust
who strip
more.
their tank to let it
Mhm.
rust, and then they lacquer.
Right.
That's a look.
Well, that's lame.
Right. But it's also
'Cause
not, that's also something that's going to continue rusting underneath the lacquer.
Is
Yeah,
it?
that's destroying. Oh yeah,
if you
absolutely.
remove the oxygen,
There's so many, once
doesn't
you
it need
have
oxygen
rust,
to rust?
it does. But once you have that rust, on the metal, that produces all sorts of little, porous surfaces that allow, that oxygen, excuse me, that oxygen in. And once it's in there, it keeps working its way through the metal. So, you know, it's,
see, I guess I'm indifferent to that one.
yeah, I'm really
But
not
yeah, I
a
can
fan
see
because
your point.
I've seen too many vehicles that were in good condition that were just ruined because of people wanting to have a patina look, and they, you know, sanded it down to metal, let it rust. You know,
so that's
now,
lame.
I have a question.
Real patina,
right
then.
now, I will say my hypocritical stance on this is that the 65 Allstate that I won in the raffle has 40 years worth of Arizona patina on it. Like, this is legitimate, like, naturally formed patina over time. That I do want to preserve, like, the faded look on it, but I do want to neutralize the rust so that it is taken down to bare metal and then chemically neutralize
so that's good to hear,
so that it won't rust further, and then lacquer over that.
All right, because I was going to ask Bagel, are there any vehicles that we see behind you that you consider patina that you may not restore fully? But that's a cool one.
That would be the one.
I think they came out of the hot rod scene, right?
Yeah, but I like Bagel's example. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess, taking something that's in good condition and rusting it to make it look like a rat rod.
I would agree with Bagel on that one. If it was good, then you made it look fucked up.
I'll admit, I like a good paint job over rust.
Well, I think in Bagel's example of a patina, it tells a story.
But you know,
the other one, like, you fake a story.
But with some old stuff, it's worth more in its original paint than it is stripped.
It's
and
only original once.
Yeah.
Is the saying.
So, but if you are purposely patinaing, patinaing, is that a real thing?
Yeah, it is now.
I get it. Any last gripes?
I'll throw out a hand grenade for you.
Oh no. Oh no.
So I'm not sure how to frame this, but and I don't have an opinion one way or the other. And
is this going to be an attack on me somehow?
Oh, you know, it probably will be. No, actually it's not. And it's not an attack on anyone. But it's funny that we're around so many motorcycle people and talk about the internet and connectivity, the influence that's had. And I've only been writing for 11 years now, right? So I'm not a veteran either. But social media influencers as it relates to motorcycles. And I'll frame the conversation like this. We know a lot of social media influencers. And I guess if you have a presence, you're kind of that anyway. And you see some that are veterans and some are newer. But I'll say this, most of the coolest motorcycle people I know, especially racers and like desert people, whatever it might be, almost have no motorcycle presence on the internet. They keep a low profile. But if you go riding with them, oh my God, they're amazing. But yet you have some younger influencers that maybe are newer, but they preach kind of like they know everything. But again, they might bring new people into riding. So I guess, Liza, how about a young social media influencer? Do you think are you stoked on it, or does it kind of annoy you a little bit?
Depends who it is.
Oh, I know what you're referring to.
I'm not referring to anyone, but because there's so many of them. But when it could be, and you could be like making baskets, but I've started doing this 3 years ago and I love it. And now I'm going to make videos every single day and tell everybody about what I'm learning.
So it doesn't bother me because I could do the same thing, but I've just come to learn that that's a lot of work and I don't want to do it.
But you've been writing for how many years?
Yeah, but the amount of work it takes to do social media posts and to understand the videos and editing and everything, it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
But if someone is young and relatively inexperienced, but they're enthusiastic about riding, I don't see the harm in that. I think that's a good thing. And they may make some mistakes. They might put out some information that's not entirely accurate because they don't know everything yet. But I don't think that's something that's bad necessarily. I think, and like you said, if they're influencing other people to go out and ride, I think that's a great thing.
So I tend to fall down where y'all do. I think it's really cool. I love to see people that are stoked about what they're doing, and who cares how long they've been doing it for.
You just threw a grenade into the pit.
I just want to kind of see what people would say, But I think it's great. Anything that exposes, and most of those people are super positive, so I think it's cool. It's just there's so many bitchin' riders out there that you can only see them in person, which is probably the way it should be.
No, I'd say the only other trend I see when I'm going down YouTube rabbit holes, and there are a lot of videos that come up of people filming like their crashes, and it's usually them riding above their ability and crashing And I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this.
It gets cringy after.
Yeah,
a
I
while.
don't particularly
Yeah.
like watching any of that crash stuff. I kind of actively avoid it. Yeah.
There's things to learn from it for a certain extent, but yeah, you went too fast and you washed your wheel out and you didn't really, or you did.
Some of them are fascinating,
you haven't got your emergency braking down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
but it's one after the other of people like not wearing enough gear and riding too fast on fast bikes. I'm like, this is dumb.
I think the draw for that is probably mostly Schadenfreude,
Yeah.
where people watch that and like,
Yes.
oh, you dumbass, look at what you did to yourself.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Wearing
I'd
your
say-
tank top, doing wheelies.
Right.
Have you seen the one where dude's following his friend and he goes wide and he goes off and he hits a berm and goes flying through the air and like lands in a tree and flies over the cliff and like, yeah, I'm fascinated by that. But it's just when it's these compilations, one after another of people riding way too fast, crossing yellow lines, making stupid mistakes, and then inevitably crashing. I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Enough of those tail of the dragon fail videos.
Yeah. Well, speaking of crashes, Bagel, I heard you were nearly in one.
What?
I was close. Yeah, we had a collision this weekend. And I wanted to kind of talk about that. Because it does tie into a few things that we've been talking about, including group rides, which is what we were doing this weekend with my club. And I think it also brings in a lot of other thoughts about ways this could have been avoided. So we had a couple friends come into town this weekend, so we wanted to have some fun, go up for a ride or two. And we decided yesterday we would do the route that we had planned to ride on our Oregon 100 rally in May, but it got rained out, so we weren't able to do the ride that day. So a group of like 7 of us, it was not a big group. We decided to head out Saturday morning and ride this 100-mile route. And it was a little chilly, but it was shaping up to be a beautiful day. And we headed out in the morning and going through some of the back roads here in Oregon. And the group was at that point sort of spread out a bit. There were 2 riders in the front that were kind of ahead of the middle of the pack, 2 riders that were kind of behind the middle of the pack, and I was there with in the middle with two other riders, one in front, one behind. So Ian was in front, kind of in the left side of the lane. This is a 2-lane road, kind of getting into some back 2-lane back roads, little twisty. I was to his right behind him, and then Dave was to my left behind me. So in a staggered formation, like is expected and what we normally do. And then all of a sudden, Ian in the front started slowing down, and he reached down to look like he was turning his fuel tap onto reserve. So I just kind of swerved around, went to the right past him as he was slowing down and fiddling with that. And I kind of looked in my mirror to see, but behind me to watch, make sure he was okay. And then I saw all of a sudden his bike slowed way down really quickly. And then Dave, who was behind him, swerved to miss him, but then didn't quite make it and clipped the left rear of his bike.
Mm.
And that kind of sent his bike sideways, and he came off of it. Didn't get hurt too bad, just banged his shoulder and thinks he might have pulled a hamstring or something like that in his leg, but no road rash or anything, had good gear on and everything. But it turned out that when his bike slowed down, he thought he was hitting a reserve. But it turned out his bike was actually starting to seize, and he didn't realize it.
Oh.
So what happened was, it looked like it was just kind of like he was just coasting, but then all of a sudden his piston turned into a brake and slowed him down real fast. He wasn't putting his brakes on, so there was no brake light coming on.
Right.
And Dave didn't have enough time to react fast enough as the bike went into the seas. And he was starting to move around him, but then just because the bike slowed down so rapidly, he ended up hitting the panel on the left side of the bike.
Mm.
So, and that did quite a bit of damage to Dave's bike too. It bent the leg shield all in, and it bent some of the frame supports. So 2 bikes were out of commission for the ride. Thankfully, no major injuries though.
And you know what would have helped in that situation?
Well, one of the things that I thought of as we were going along the ride, I'm like, man, that was a really hairy situation. It's kind of one of those things that it's really hard to plan. You can't really plan for that. That's something that just kind of happens out of the blue. And one of the things that I was thinking of is that a brake-free light on Ian's helmet would have potentially helped with that, because as soon as that bike started to slow down, before he even reached down for the fuel tap, that light would have come on, and that would have give Dave, some warning. Hey, this bike's slowing down. Ease up. And he would have had more time to reduce his speed and then maneuver around when the bike started to seize, so that he potentially could have avoided that collision entirely. Now, the ironic thing is that Dave, who is in the back, he has a brake fee that he bought after he saw me riding around with it. So he had the brake free, but Ian in the front unfortunately did not.
And Bagel, it's been a while since the brake free guys have been on our show. For people who don't know, tell them what it is.
So brake free is a standalone running light and brake light that mounts to the back of your helmet. So it's basically a high mounted light that is it's LED, so it's very bright and visible. And it uses an accelerometer so it's not connected to the bike in any way. There's no wireless or wire connection to the bike. All it uses is the accelerometer to detect when you're slowing down. And when you start slowing down past a certain rate, that light will increase in intensity like a brake light would on a car.
Bright.
And it's really bright. It gets your attention. It can sometimes be a little bit sensitive, where if you slow down just a little bit, it starts flashing the light on and goes off. And but it works really, really well. And I was thinking that's something that could have potentially avoided that entire collision.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and as after that, I started talking with the guys in the club to see, is this something that other people, or would be interested in doing? And I think what we're going to do is end up buying a group package of brake frees for our entire club, for that very reason. Because when something happens, you want to give as much warning to the people behind you as you can, so that they won't hit you. And it's especially with vintage bikes too, which is primarily what we ride. They never had great taillights or brake lights to begin with. A lot of these bikes are 6-volt, so they're not very bright, not very noticeable. So having a brake free makes enormous amounts of sense, especially with riding older bikes that have maybe not the best wiring systems and electrical systems. So that was it was really kind of a wake up call about a lot of the things that we've been talking about with group riding and safety.
Yeah.
And that even if you're sticking to the quote unquote rules, for group rides, things can still go south.
That's a good point, adding the brake free. In fact, this is a great opportunity to share some news.
Oh, yeah?
Brake Free is one of our sponsors of our 600th episode. That is going to be November 17th.
Woohoo.
If you didn't know, we're going to be inviting everyone to join us via Zoom for a virtual party. And I've been reaching out to some of our partners to get some prizes, and I've got thousands of dollars in prizes already, including we're going to have some Brake Free Tech lights that we're going to be giving away.
Yeah, I think it's great, Bagel. I saw a brake free tech on 17 commuting the other day, and they work. They really do. You see them.
Oh yeah.
Well, I even used mine on my dirt bike when we would go dirt biking. I'd have my helmet.
Yeah, because you are pretty slow. Probably a good idea.
No, but I thought dirt bikes don't have tail lights, and it would be good to know when somebody's like.
Well, if you've seen the desert racing, they all have strobes on the back. So.
Right. So, thank you, Brake Free Tech, and make sure you put it on your calendar, November 17th, to join us. Lots of prizes are going to be given away. Oh, in fact, Bagel, I'll share this one with you because I think it's pretty cool. our good friend Moin Khan had a different agenda.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving out two individual $1,000 off coupons for a 2025 trip.
Oh, wow.
$1,000 off.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a good portion of the whole cost.
especially when he's adding the new CF Moto
Yeah.
Ibex 450 to his collection.
That's cool.
Yep. So you can go to Pakistan and try it and save $1,000 if you win that prize. I wanted to give a quick shout out before we get to emails, if you can get your emails ready, to Brian from the Moto BS podcast. He came by on Friday when none of us were here and Emma wasn't at her shop. He could only come by for a minute. So none of us were here, but he stopped by and left a little present for us out back. He left some T-shirts and stickers. So if you guys are interested in any Moto BS podcast T-shirts, I have them.
Sounds like a bunch of BS to me.
There. So thank you, Brian. Sorry we weren't here. I'm just going to read the first email because this is going along with already we've been talking about a lot of Chinesium, right? And this is continuing the trend. In fact, this is kind of a topic of its own. So I wanted to see what you guys think. We have a suggestion from a listener, Ken. Ken says,
I can.
All right.
You're good enough.
So he says, I had an insane idea. And yes, I was a little bit high when I thought of it. Here it goes.
Sounds good so far.
What do you think about building a project bike where all of the parts come from AliExpress, Temu, and Wish.com?
When do we start?
I call it the most dangerous bike in the world.
We call it the Amigo.
Now, the title, of course, is sensational. No one wants to really build a bike that's going to kill someone. But if you pick the highest quality products that you possibly can from those vendors to build the best bike possible, I think it would make for a really interesting project for the podcast or for your YouTube channel. Just throwing these ideas out.
Winter is coming.
No, I'm not interested.
You're looking for something to do, Liza.
No, here's the thing. There are a lot of parts on there. I was just looking at front ends because Nock is looking for a front end for one of his projects. And you can buy a whole front end with wheel, brake, everything. You probably could, but getting the frame that can get titled is
that's
a
where
lot
it gets
harder.
sticky. Yeah,
That's a lot harder.
Like maybe if you started with a titled frame or something and then got all the other parts to put onto it, that might be possible.
But the reality is, Nock has now built three because he built one for Sully.
Yeah.
These kit bikes where you buy all the components and build your own electric bike. It's not a plated bike, so he just rides it in bike lanes and pretends it's a moped. But yeah, you buy all the different components and you put it together.
It was really cool. At first, I'm like, basically, it's a Chinesium kit bike, electric kit bike. And you're like, wait, what? But then Nock's like, dude, there's parts like you can't believe out there and they're all super cheap. You know, and Nock's no fool. Nock knows what he's doing and he loves that thing. And I think a lot of it is it's cheap to customize.
If anything, I thought it'd be really cool for a go-kart race series to build your own bike. Because they're perfect for that. Rather than riding like a little, Grom or a little Supermoto, make your own little electric like he has. So technically, Nock has already done it, so we don't have to.
Well, yeah.
And it's not the most dangerous bike.
Nock stuff is plug and play, though.
Yeah. Well, but he doesn't buy he has to choose all the components and put it together, and he keeps building bigger and bigger ones.
We'll just ride the Amigo around. Call it good.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say a similar challenge would be if they were still around, you could go to like a motorcycle scrapyard and build a motorcycle out of parts from there.
Oh, there you go.
Of just random parts from random bikes.
I've done that. I mean, not a step worse than a junkyard. I've built bikes from bikes I got out of people's yards. Free bikes out of people's. That's how the Recycle Garage started.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was free bikes from people's yards that I would give to people like Douglas. Say, fix it, you can keep it. Or your daughter Jake got one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not dangerous. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. Bagel, you have an email there?
I have a couple emails.
All right.
Um,
Go ahead and pick one.
well, let's see. I have an email from Ryan Hegdahl
Hey, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
titled "Hello from the Never-Ending Cornfields of Iowa."
Ooh.
Says, "Howdy, Misfits.
Hello.
I'm a long-time emailer, first-time listener, or something like that. Found you guys through Funkle Phil and the gang at Cleveland Moto, and I have
Yay.
to say, between you and them, my work days are great. I wanted to comment on a few parts from episode 593 about
Oh, yeah.
flat track dealing with Indian and why Honda may not be doing as well in MotoGP.
Mhm.
A few years back, I worked at an Indian, Polaris, Honda, Yamaha, KTM, and Kawasaki dealer here in Iowa. I think that's one dealership.
Yeah.
In the 2 years' time I worked there, I saw 2 FTR 1200s get sold with a lot of inquiries about the bike. Most of the people who decided against it said something along the same thing, which was, if only they made a 750 version. It baffles me how many people wanted a mid-weight version of the bike, and yet Indian never jumped at the chance. I feel if they would just make an FTR 750, they would not only outsell the FTR 1200, but also outsell the majority of their bikes.
Have you ridden an FTR 1200? It's a brick.
I've sat on the I've sat on
It's a brick. It's a big, heavy bike with about 1 inch of travel in the suspension.
Oof.
But it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. So it continues. Now on to Honda. When Honda started development of the new CRF, they said they were going to focus on them till they are dominant. And once they were back on top for a while in motocross, supercross, they were going to go back and spend some more time on the Honda GP racing, basically focusing its efforts instead of spreading it across the board. If you look back, it's something they would do quite often. Typically, if they were doing good off-road, they weren't on-road and vice versa.
Interesting.
Finally, I would also like to put my 2 pesos forward about the future classics. And I will say that I believe that most of the victories will become a future classic.
Yeah.
They are already rising in price around here, and the people I know who ride them are almost like a cult. They seem to be a bike brand you will either love or hate, and no in between. But much like old Harleys and Indians, that parts are no longer available. These victories will continue to have a loyal following that will do anything they have to keep them on the road, and will also keep the price climbing. Personally, I'm more fond of the old two-stroke MXers from the late 90s and early 2000s, which I also think will become future classics, being the last of an era and arguably the best era of motocross. Long live frosted tips and premix.
Is that a Jeremy or McGrath joke?
Maybe. Well, enough from me. Keep the rubber side down. Go fast and take chances. Have a wonderful day, Misfits.
Yeah, on the victories, I have a friend who had a victory she loved and totaled it, and had to seek out. She had to seek out another one in the same color to replace it because she loved it.
Yeah.
We rode with her in South Dakota.
Oh, okay, cool.
You were there.
Yeah, who?
Weren't you there?
I was in South Dakota. Who was it? Who?
Did you? Or
with
my
short
friend
hair.
Rachel. Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She
rode
big bike.
the piss out of that
She can
thing.
ride that woman.
Yeah, so I know people are like that. They want to keep it going, so they're buying. That's a good point. Thank you. All right, Jim, what you got there?
Yeah, I got a email from Maurice Berger, or Berger, I apologize, but however it goes. Maurice. Future classics. Hey, Misfits, Maurice here from Switzerland. First things first, I've written in before, and there's been a misunderstanding. While Bagel's French accent is among the sexiest, I have to say that I am from the German-speaking part. Not Zurich, though.
Yeah.
That would be an insult, as we all
You're
know.
doing good with the accent.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slightly Arkansas. It's Arkansas meets Santa Cruz. All right. Anyway, as it happens, I played the same game of Name a Future Classic with a friend. Oh, that's cool. Over one too many beers, and just 3 days before we did. Oh, how funny. Great minds think alike. I do agree with John and Emma about the XR 1200. Maybe some Buells, right? Might be in the mix too. The first R9T, the good one, might have a place also, which I would go with the R9T. It's cool looking. I rented one in Scotland for a week. It was a lot of fun.
You didn't love it though, right?
Well, I'm riding in Scotland with no windscreen, for God's sake. I mean, come on now. I didn't. Anyway, but it was a cool bike. It turned heads. People, you make conversation. So, but I have an unpopular pick.
Oh, yeah.
The Ducati Multistrada 1000.
Oh, we were talking about
percolate
that
on that.
week.
Yeah. Yes, the Pierre Terblanche designed Baboon's Ass Turn motorcycle, a bike so ugly only true colors could love it. And that's my exact point. The design polarizes now as it did back in the day with its bubbly two-part fairing and the tombstone headlight. Yet it was groundbreaking in the same sense that put a street-oriented, off-roady looking, but don't call it an ADV sports bike on the map.
Is that the one that had the turret-style fairing that turned?
Oh, Craig had one, I remember. Anyway, you don't see too many of them in the dirt, I'll tell you that. Let's see. The TDM was that before, but the cool kids wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Plus, the Ducatis, like only a Ducati can Ducati. Air-cooled 1000cc Desmo L-twin, single-side swing arm, underseat. My eyes aren't good. So underseat exhaust and that drop-dead gorgeous trellis frame. It's a good-looking bike. Pick a DS model for some added carbon parts. $3.5K will buy you a nice one. Is that true?
So that's what I was thinking of this one.
Even a high price.
And see how the windshield moves. But the fairing stays. It's like a turret style.
Yeah, I never paid that much attention to them, but I know they're fast.
I do think those are kind of cool.
And people that ride them, they ride the heck out of them. So, all right. Newer Multistradas sure are nice, but takes kind of generic looking. Paint one green and it's a Versus 1000.
Yep.
There's something to that for sure. All right. I also had a Limerick, but my God, it sucked. I saw a duck. Around the bend it came. I said, holy mame. And I got a shitty Limerick too. There you go. No, he just said he had no Limerick. I tried to turn it into one unsuccessfully also. So anyway, that's all. Ride fast and eat tacos. Maurice.
Oh, I like that one.
Tank tacos.
Bagel, you have a poem to read, don't you?
I do. I have a haiku from Jeff Graham Schaefer.
There you go.
All right. He writes, hello. My haiku is one of the ones that got missed in the shuffle.
Oh, so sorry.
It is BM specific, but I think general audiences will still approve. I added it to this photo to increase the wow factor, and he includes his haiku in part of the image here.
Excellent. We like the pictures.
So the haiku reads, opposed twin pistons boxing through the scenic view, wind cleansing my soul.
That would have been the winner.
That's nice.
That's pretty
that
good
would have been
the
winner.
I'm so glad I was on here. You can't blame me.
Cherry blossoms floating down.
I got to describe this picture. Like, this is a great picture. He's got, it looks like he had a camera hanging off the left side of his bike so you can see the airhead in front, or at least the boxer cylinder in front and it's the camera is like right over the double yellow going through this twisty with all these like pine trees in the distance. Mm-hmm. Really cool shot.
Nice. Right on. And a good haiku.
Yep. And he closes with, give it the beans.
Give it the beans, darling.
Words of wisdom.
Thanks, Jeff.
You got one there, Neil?
I sure do. This comes from Paul Hempel.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
And he writes us about wrist pain and ergonomics. And that's near dear to me because my left wrist is killing me
getting
today.
old.
Yeah.
It's from carpentry. Hey, Misfits. Hong Kong Paul again. I just finished my Balkans motorcycle ride. Fabulous roads and often minimal traffic.
Nice.
Highly recommended destination. I am now on a 13-hour layover in Istanbul and have been pondering two questions, one ergonomic and the other more philosophical. First, on multi-day rides, I really start to notice pain in my left wrist. I know bar risers can help by putting less weight on the wrist, but my problem seems to be grip angle. That sounds like a very personal problem.
Yeah, I know, right?
I find my wrist clocked inward slightly, so that a lot of pressure is put on the bone at the outer edge of my wrist. Changing for a handlebar with a different bend might help, but it seems that getting the correct angle would be sort of a crapshoot. For my first Ducati 20 years ago, I put on Cyclecat clip-on bars, which had an eccentric bushing so that it was possible to finely tune both the pullback and downward angle. Sadly, they went out of business ages ago. So my question is, what can be done to get the proper fit? So we'll throw it out there.
Would that be clip-ons?
Yeah. Maybe a pipe bender.
Go get some acupuncture.
Yeah, that too.
So,
or the bar isn't supposed to be straight through your palm. It's supposed to kind of cross your palm, kind of from your index finger knuckle to the palm of your hand,
like a screwdriver.
Kind of like a screwdriver, exactly. So you shouldn't be trying to hold your wrists outward. And I'm doing that right now. And that hurts to do that.
Right.
Actually, no. I'm going to correct you, Neil. Because my first BMW touring bike I got,
we talked about it. Yeah.
It put me in an awkward position. I was used to like cafe racers and sport bikes where you're riding with your kind of shoulders down and your elbows out, this kind of like hunched over style. And I got that first bike and it brought my elbows in towards like my waist. And I felt like I was like a praying mantis.
They were telling you how
there.
you should ride.
Right.
But what happened was I realized it had taken all of the stress off my shoulder, elbow, and wrists by bringing me in. Whereas like this, I was rigid. And this...
With your elbows out.
With elbows out. With my elbows in by my side, it took all the stress. It was ergonomically correct.
So that's another thing to consider. Sit on a BMW and see if you like it.
BMWs are designed for the ergonomics, not the cool factor.
Right.
But yeah, changing out the bars. There was somebody here recently who came by he was a traveler and he needed some gear and bits. And he was having trouble with his wrist. And I gave him one of my throttle rockers because he had already put the foam on the handlebars to make it a little bit thicker and easier to hold, but I gave him my throttle rocker. But I think this person said it's their left hand, not their right.
Left wrist, yeah.
You can put a throttle rocker on the left.
Maybe.
There you go.
Remember, you got to do the clutch.
It just lets you loosen your hand grip a little more. That's all.
Yeah, but seriously, try acupuncture. I've had ever since. Remember, I got in that crash in the woods head on. My hands have been kind of jacked ever since that, and acupuncture treats it wonderfully.
Or go to a massage therapist for tendonitis.
As long as the door doesn't lock in the room.
Right.
All right.
So moving on. His second question. Here we go in the
wrap it up. I got ribs at home.
For my second question, a bit of a setup first. Sorry, Jim.
I know. That's all right.
I have a small duffel bag I use to carry my helmet and other stuff on flights. For each country that I ride in, I will get a flag patch to sew onto my duffel. My question is, what does it mean to quote unquote ride in a country? To clarify, on this trip, I spent several days in Slovenia. One day riding between the mountains, I rode about 15 kilometers down into a valley and up the other side. That 15 kilometers was technically in Austria. So there were no people there, nor a village, no traffic even. Did I quote unquote ride in Austria so I can get myself a flag?
Yes.
I say yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
If
go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. What were you going to say, Bagel?
I was just going to say that one of the 50 states or one of the 49 states that I rode my cannonball bike in was Florida. And I literally rode a mile in and then a mile back out.
It counts.
That counts.
That counts.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah, so get the flag.
That's right. Get the flag.
Yep.
You have our grace to get a flag. If not for the signs, I would have never known I was in Austria. And that's kind of what it was like when I was in Ireland, and part of our ride took us skirted along Northern Ireland. So technically, I was in the UK. We were in the UK during that time. So I rode in England, right?
Get a patch.
The only time it doesn't count is when you're in an international airport.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I flew through Dublin, can I say I've been in Ireland? And the answer is no, because I was not on Irish soil. I was on international, I don't even know what you call it.
But if you can ride a motorcycle in an international airport, more power to you.
Yeah, you're getting a patch.
You get a special patch for that.
You will get the patch. As an alternative viewpoint, decades ago, I was in Taiwan visiting a friend. I love Taiwan. I wish I could go back there soon. I borrowed a scooter and followed him less than a kilometer to a restaurant. Yet I fully count that as having ridden Taiwan. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That ride involved going the wrong way on a one-way street and diverting onto the curb when the traffic was too dense. Yeah, that sounds like Taiwan.
Just a regular scooter ride.
Yeah, no one cared.
Yeah, that's we call that Tuesday. That fully encapsulated the experience of riding in Taiwan. So I count that despite the short distance. I hope you went to a night market. That's got to have that experience if you go to Taipei, for example. By the way, I have the same quandary concerning U.S. states I have ridden in. Finally, Miss Emma's talking about her GS 850G has made me nostalgic from my first bike, the baby brother's GS 650G in Burgundy.
That was the first bike I rode when I was 12.
Wow.
A
GS 650. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
I blame that bike for my bad habit of neglecting my chain because I didn't get into that habit of chain maintenance from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chain patina.
Yeah, you don't get past the chain patina.
Just throw some lacquer on it. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Little sharp pointy teeth on those sprockets.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about the long email. Like I said, a 13-hour layover. Well, we're glad you can waste your time with us. So thank you for writing in.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. I have one more, Jim. Bear with me. I'm shortening it.
Okay, I just saw that.
I know you did. I know. Well, this is from our friend Brett. And
Hey, Brett.
He said, back in March, I asked you for advice regarding my road trip through France. Here's my ride report.
Ooh, I might be there shortly.
There was rain. He's riding a 74 Trident. There was
that's cool though.
some
The
excitement.
74 Trident.
There was a tire that started to show threads. There was some ignition problems. I'm just breaking it.
Paraphrasing, yes.
Paraphrasing. But he what he did was he says at the very end, he bullet points. Here's what I learned on my trip.
Okay.
You run a little slower with an old bike, but you are more chilled.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is a 1974 Trident.
Yeah.
He says, my Trident drinks 1 milliliter, 1 ml km of oil. Outstanding from what I understand.
So like milliliter per mile,
every-
basically.
Oh, 1 milliliter per
kilometer.
kilometer. Okay. Pin locks suck. I found the extra layer of plastic had too many reflections, especially in bright sun when I needed to drop down my visor.
Or if you have polarized sunglasses. I'll just throw that out.
Yeah. He said, Rocket 3 owners are not all a bunch of a-holes. France is really
You
big.
see those in France?
Yeah. France is really big. Plan time to stop and talk to folks as it happens at every stop.
Bonjour.
You can allegedly get about 1,000 kilometers from an Avon road rider from just legal to smooth, but with no canvas showing.
All right.
Wow.
Going from like the tread depth,
Yeah.
right?
Good point.
And
Yeah.
unlike Switzerland, France has no more village drinking fountains. So just before signing off, I was pleased to hear that Bagel had picked up a Beetle. He sent a picture of his. That was his mom's. All the best for the coming winter wrenching season, and thanks for keeping us entertained while fiddling in our cold garages.
Right on. Cheers, man.
Very
Thanks,
cool.
Brett.
Where's Brett? Where does he live? In Europe or over here?
I think over there.
Yeah, France is. I would love to. I am planning
wait.
on visiting France. Hopefully.
We bought a ticket for France, so I don't know.
Oh man. If you can never ride the French Alps, it's amazing there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
So good.
Someday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
Woohoo!
I wanted to just remind people I've got t-shirts for sale. If you would like to get one of our unnamed rider cool shirts, go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. You'll find them there. $25, free shipping in the US, anywhere. And you can also find out how to reach us there, which is motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And just a quick announcement. John mentioned it. It's Misfits do Moon Rocks
Oh, yeah.
this coming week. So if anyone has some free time, me and John and maybe some others are going to go to Moon Rocks, Nevada. It's outside of Reno, about 45 minutes. It's a cool BLM land, and we know BLM spells fun. So
No, it doesn't. It spells boom.
It spells boom, exactly. So if anybody's looking for some camping, this coming week, email whoever, and we'll hook you up.
Is it true there's no laws or rules on BLM land?
Oh, there's lots of laws and rules. There's just no one there to enforce them. Well, I take it back. Mother Nature will set the price for the day. I'll tell you that. So yeah, Mother Nature rules the roost out there.
Well, and next week is going to be interesting because Jim, John, and Emma are all out. So hopefully, Neil, I might be able to talk you into coming back. I know you're busy.
And a couple of cats.
Bring the cats.
We shall see. We shall see. So big thanks to everyone for sticking with us, especially our Patreon subscribers. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting everything that we do. And just go check out the Moto BS podcast because he gave us gifts.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Got bribed.
So time to get out of here. Thank you, everybody. We love you guys. This is Liza.
It's Neil.
Naked Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Bring firewood.